Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, that all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Shalom Yasharala, which means peace, Israel. I would like to start off by giving our praises, our honor, and our glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachach Wadash, Yahweh. That's a true and powerful mighty name, of who the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, or Ahio. But Hashem means in the name, Yahweh Shai, that will be the true and powerful mighty name, of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Yeshua, Yeshua, or Yeshaya. And the Rahakudash is the Holy Spirit, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. I would like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, who I've learned the truth of the Bible from. And peace, blessing, safety, and salutation until the hopeful elect, and to you believers and listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And much love and respect unto you, brothers, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom, now more so than ever. May Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Yuam, coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing, is edifying to the Lord's elect. Representative Perry demands Congress stop the flock after cameras log 20 billion vehicle scans a month. That's not targeted policing. That's mass collection and surveillance. Okay, so everybody is not down with the flock cameras. Everybody wants them gone, okay, because it's a way for the elites in the government to keep tabs on the people. You know, to monitor what they call monitoring people. Okay, it's just an unrighteous decree. Let me get that real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Warn to them that decree unrighteous decrees and their right grievousness which they prescribe. Right, man. Having your vehicle scanned unknowingly, that's grievous. Okay? Because here it is, you minding your business and, you getting scanned. Okay? It was this one woman that got a ticket because she had her phone sitting in her lap while she was driving. And they billed her a ticket because of that, man. It's just like, God damn, bro. I could see if she had it in her hand and she, was texting while driving, but the object, the device was literally sitting in her lap. And they were saying that she was distracted while driving. I'm pretty sure she had her hands 10 and 2 and had her eyes focused on the road, not even worried about her phone. But yet she gets a ticket in the mail. That's the type of shit we got. That's the type of stuff we got to deal with moving forward, is being in the surveillance state. Let's get back to the article. Scott Perry, a leading voice on the House Freedom Caucus and a longtime advocate of the Fourth Amendment protections, renewed his campaign against flock safety's automatic license plate reader network on July 23, 2026, warning that the system has grown into a nationwide surveillance apparatus far beyond its stated purpose of fighting crime. Right. Okay, because that was the what it was on the surface level. It was for it to fight crime. They said that, so the governors and the city officials will be okay with putting these things in because they think it's going to help lower the crime numbers. Nope, they just added in more cameras. That's all, so they can keep tabs on people and just sit back and watch the people, man. Continuing on. In the post on X, Perry wrote in full, flock cameras now log approximately 20 billion vehicle scans every month, and that's just in a month. So you can imagine how many is going to be in a year. And that's part of the reason why these data centers are being built up. Because I was going to say, where are they going to store that data? In those data centers. Okay, that's part of what those data centers are for. Well, ultimately, these flock cameras is just another building block of the infrastructure of the B system. That's not targeting policing of bad guys. That's mass collection and surveillance, not safety. Exactly. And that's how they're going to push a lot of these, different. I'm gonna call them building blocks of the infrastructure of the B system. Okay, they say data centers ain't gonna, they just for gathering data, but look at all the chaos and turmoil that they causing. You got people's water turning brown, messing up it's messing up the earth. Stop the flock. Perry Post centers on a single staggering figure, roughly 20 billion vehicle scans logged every month by Flock's network of automatic license plate readers. That number, first widely reported by NBC News, reflects the scale of a system that now spans more than 5,000 law enforcement agencies across the United States. According to the Flock's own disclosure to the office of Senator Ron Wyden, more than three-quarters of those agencies opt in to share data with Flock's live national database, allowing departments in one state to view vehicle location data recorded in another without a warrant. Oh, man. Do you see that? So a whole nother state, let's say you're in Texas, the state of California, you can access the state of Texas, flock records and pull your vehicle number and find out where you located at, because these flock cameras, they're pretty much putting together a dossier on everybody to see where you go, where you work at, what stores you go to, and where you go to on your free time. Hey, in a way, that's them hunting our steps. Let's get that. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go into our streets. Exactly. Because now people going to want to opt in to stay at home. Okay? Because people are tired of, being watched everywhere they go, man. They hunt our steps that we cannot go on our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our prosecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains, on the governments. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under the shadow we shall live among the heathen. Okay? And that's, like I said, all that is just to hunt our steps, man. To pretty much, they're creating a digital footprint on where you go. So just in case, they be like, oh, we got to apprehend this guy. They already know where to go based off the data they received for your vehicle. Okay, where was I? Okay, Perry's framing draws a sharp distinction between using the cameras to pursue specific suspects, which he says he supports, and using them to build a rolling, searchable record of where every driver goes. Didn't I just say that, man? And that's the real purpose of it, man. Okay. Yeah, they say it's to, catch suspects and bad guys and all that. But one thing I learned about these devils, they'll never do anything good. Sirach 14. The book of Ecclesiastes, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 14, and verse 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Right? So these devils don't know how to do good. Okay, and like we just read, they do good is unwillingly. But at the end, they're going to declare their wickedness. They're going to tell you what was really up their sleeve. And best believe those flock cameras are not for pursuing suspects. It's the second option. They're using these cameras to build a rolling, searchable record of where every driver goes. Perry's long-running opposition to flock, the July 23rd post, is the latest in a month-long effort by Perry to curtail the cameras. 2 weeks earlier, on July 7th, Perry wrote on X that flock and flock-like cameras track where law-abiding people go, who they visit, and how they live, all without a warrant, adding that he had attempted to stop this with an amendment which unfortunately failed recently in his committee, and vowing that that's not the end of this. He called on constituents to call your legislators, closing with the same rallying cry he used in his July 23rd post, stop the flock. Hey, and I agree with him, okay? But you got to understand that this is all part of the beast system, okay? Because they got to have quote unquote eyes everywhere. The failed bipartisan amendment, that amendment offered with Rep. Jesus Chuy Garcia, would have barred state and local governments that receive federal highway funds from using automatic license plate readers for any purpose other than electronic toll collection, effectively cutting off a major funding stream for departments that use flock cameras for broader tracking. The American Civil Liberties Union wrote in support of the measure, telling House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee leaders that at least 53 cities across 20 states had already terminated or rejected flock contracts, and warning that the FBI is separately preparing to spend $36 million on a nationwide license plate reader system capable of tracking any vehicle in near real time. The amendment was killed in committee without a floor debate. So y'all hear that? The FBI is even finna jump in on this to try because they don't got to do that much work anymore to try to catch criminals. They can just sit here, go in this database of flock, and let the system, let the program, there it is, let the program do it for them. Okay, whether it be artificial intelligence or it's just, how they got the system, set up. A Fourth Amendment caucus founding member, Perry's objection to flock is consistent with a record of surveillance issues that stretches back nearly a decade. As a founding member of the House Fourth Amendment caucus, Perry joined Rep. Tulsi Gabbard and introducing legislation to permanently end the National Security Agency's practice of collecting Americans' electronic communications that merely mention a foreign surveillance target, commonly known as about collection. At the time, Perry said the practice has long been used as an in around the Fourth Amendment. Perry has also been an outspoken opponent of reauthorizing Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act without added safeguards, arguing that the provision has been used for what he and other critics call backdoor searches of Americans' communications without a warrant, citing a 2022 transparency report of the Office of the Director of the National Intelligence. Perry and allied House Republicans have pointed to millions of warrantless searches conducted under Section 702 in a single year as evidence that reforms are overdue. Perry has said the goal is confidence, that American citizens want the confidence they don't live in a police state. And we do live in a police state. It's getting more totalitarian every day. Flock cameras are not the only surveillance adjacent issue Perry has taken on this year. He has also pushed back against the federal vehicle kill switch mandate, a provision requiring new cars to include technology capable of detecting driver impairment and limiting or preventing operation. In a separate post on X, Perry wrote the Fourth Amendment isn't a suggestion. No government should have the authority to remotely control a vehicle you pay for or turn into a tool for surveillance. Going back to what Carl Schwab said, we'll own nothing and be happy. Okay? Yeah, we pay for these cars, but that don't mean we own it. Okay? Pretty much just shit, we leasing every goddamn thing. Even goddamn video games. But it's all about control, man. Okay? It's all about control. If you say something or do something that they don't like, then they can shut you off. And that's why this all ties into the chip. Okay? Because if you get the MOTB and you do or say something they don't like, they can garnish your funds, or they could just remotely shut off your chip, and they'll more than likely unalive you. She's gonna slack you. It's time to kill the switch. He joined Reps Thomas Massie and Keith Self in supporting an amendment led by Chip Roy to strip the mandate from federal law. And I'm not going to be able to get into this whole article because it's pretty lengthy. Okay, I'll put it in the description box. Let's get a couple more of these precepts. Let's get Psalms chapter 10, verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. And now, because I remember the last time I did a lesson similarly like this, and I brought out this precept, I went into how these devils will sit in our neighborhoods. They'll sit in the cut, okay, on an abandoned street or abandoned cul-de-sac, and, you know, waiting on somebody to speed by or whatever the case. But now, the lurking places can be in their offices because now they got the technology to do the dirty work. Once, you know, they got somebody scanning the data or you know, watching the monitors, as soon as they see a vehicle that matches the description, they send out a call. And then now you got officers behind you. Okay, in the secret places do he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. And who are the poor? The Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. You also have the Israelite foreigners who are likened unto a speckled bird, who look like the heathen nations because they were scattered amongst the heathen nations. However, the bloodline, their lineage goes back onto Jacob by way of their father. Okay. But yeah, the Israelites are the main target. And they mainly getting all this stuff together for when they implement martial law and they come down on the middle of the Lord for speaking his truth. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He do catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And that's why we need Yahweh Shai, man. We need Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai because, hey, this devil got all the technology and we ain't got nothing. Okay, these devils are like a bear lying in wait. Lamentations 3:9. He having closed my ways with the hewn stone. He made my paths crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait and as a lion in secret places. He had turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He had made me desolate. He had bent his bow and set me as a mark for the arrow. Okay? Because, like I said, the Israelites are his target. Now, what you like, they really gonna like, for instance, I'm pretty sure those cameras are built in with facial recognition technology and all that. So let's say they, cracking down on the middle of the Lord. Jake ain't gonna have nowhere to run. Okay, even if you ain't in the car or whatever, you on foot, you booking it on foot. They got these cameras everywhere. They're gonna be able to pick up your face. Okay, so that's why we're gonna need the Lord and His protection in these times we're coming into. And I'll close out with this: Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, in his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments of the churl are evil. Yeah, these flock cameras, they're evil. Okay. Even though they said that they were set up to catch bad guys, quote unquote, but we see the real nefarious reasons they putting these things out. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. And hey, how Bashim Shai is going to bring this devil down, man. Okay? He's going to bring this devil down for all the wicked, evil inventions they have set up for us. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I pray and hope that the edification was made, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Shai, Bahashim Hakadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace, blessing, safety, and salutation until the hopeful elect into you believes and listeners out there. Shalom, Kwam, Yasharala, and the Bible Ball.